Hello everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again. And here now we have a video just really reflecting on recently passing my first year as a YouTuber. Recently I started way back, going back to March 2020, starting this channel, and I just thought it'd be good just to give a quick view and thoughts on recently passing this milestone within a year, and just highlight really some of the achievements or the struggles as well, being a YouTuber, and going overall just the channel and how it's going, and looking at the certain numbers and analytics and views that's been happening within the channel throughout its journey throughout this first year. So just a bit of background. When I first started this journey on YouTube, it was really from a passion that I had, particularly from movies and sports. And in terms of movies, I'm sure you all know I used to watch all the time the likes of AMC and Collider and Collider Heroes and Chris Duckman and Jamie Johns and Grace Randolph. Those are really the typical movie reviewers that I used to watch on YouTube daily. You know, it was every week, whether it's updating the box office or what films, what trailers. And I was always passionate about movies, but I never thought for 1 minute that I could actually go on and talk about them on camera, because I'm not the most kind of extroverted personalities. You probably could tell from our videos. I'm very much of a reserved, introverted personality when it comes to talking anyway, and I don't have the ability as many others to talk for about 2, 3, 4 hours straight, whether it's streaming or just reviews or analysing content as well. So I always admired and respected anybody that was able to put themselves on camera and talk continuously for a couple of hours about anything within movies or sports in general. I also used to watch a lot of fitness channels as well back in the day, and it was one of those cases where I always thought about going on YouTube but never really did it. I was just more than happy to watch people do it and just consume content in that sense. But eventually I took the plunge, and it was just more a case of I just wanted to see if I could eventually build the blocks enough to maybe one day do this enough where I could actually have it as a full-time job. Because it was just a desire really to try and be your own person and try and rely on your own work, as opposed to having to always work around other people and work for a boss, take certain orders, or have to wait for other people to account for them in terms of what they do, where they work. And you just want to have your own individuality really, and just being able to provide your own content and rely on yourself as opposed to wait for others. So that was the real motivation as well. And at the end of the day, I just thought I'd try it and see if I could talk about what I was most passionate about. Now, I know always the standard 101 advice when it comes to YouTube is that you should just, in general, stick to one niche, stick to one genre, and then work from there. But it's kind of contradictory, isn't it? Because at the same time, they tell you, well, you should do what you're most passionate about. Well, if you're most passionate about a number of things, then shouldn't you talk about what you're most passionate about, right? Because you always watched a lot of the YouTube advice, and a lot of it is always about how to use a certain social media app, how to use certain technology. But I think to myself, you're not really initially passionate about that. You're kind of more working as an affiliate, right? You're working for a certain company, you're selling your own products. And I didn't want to be that. I wanted to be able to go on and talk about what I was most passionate about, and hopefully build up enough where I could earn money from it and work full time as a YouTuber. That's what I wanted to do. So that's why when you look at my channel, particularly here, I've got it on screen here now, I'll bring it up on the page where, yes, it says on the title screen here, movie, sports, art and more, because that's really my main passion. So as well as movies and sports, I also showcase a lot of my artwork here. So you see on the videos down here, basically how I can draw certain characters. So just in case anybody who didn't know, I love drawing comic book superheroes, whether it be for Marvel or DC or anime or any other franchise, and you can see throughout the videos on here. So most recently I've got the Superman videos on here, and then we go back, I've got the likes of Spawn. I did Demon Slayer for my milestone of reaching 300 subs, and I've got Sentry and Wolverine as well, and Supergirl. So the list goes on and on and on. I started way back. I think the first drawing was Batman Beyond. That was the first particular drawing that I started off with, at the time, and then I think the next couple was the likes of Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel as well. So it just really started from there, just going on the playlist down here, scrolling down. So you've got the Flash on there, and Alita Battle Angel as well, He-Man. So yeah, quite a few pictures on here. So in terms of the drawing itself, I separated it into how I drew something and then how I coloured it. And now the reason I did that is because it takes a lot of time producing these art videos. It may not seem like it at the time because I generally have a time-lapse video, but it takes a lot of time to produce these videos as well as actually doing the drawing. So when you do the penciling and the inking, that can take me hours. I'm not a professional. I have I'd say a moderate skill set in terms of drawing particular characters, and just the penciling and the inking, that can take me anything from 2 to 4 hours just to do that on its own. And it's really more the inking that takes a lot of time. So to then go from that into the colouring, which takes even longer, and then put it all together and put it out in one long video, that would take me certain hours, 5-6 hours to do. And then in terms of you viewing it, it would end up being maybe half an hour or 40-minute video. I have to showcase everything from the pencils to the inks and to the colours as well. So that's why I decided to break it down and do it separately. So I just thought it was much more digestible as the viewer if I showed the pencils and the inks and the drawing as well. So that's why I separated here. So yeah, going way back, the first one, yes, was Avar Kriss from Star Wars Republic, and then Batman Beyond, and then ink from Batman Beyond, and then Wonder Woman as well. So that's where it all started from. So yeah, I'll just continue to do the drawings, and I think it helps me more as an artist if I carry on drawing each different characters as much as possible. So obviously I've finished the Superman, so the next one I'm working on now is the Witchblade. So I've just recently finished the pencils and the inking for the Witchblade. So you'll probably see the how to draw Witchblade video within the next couple of days as well, so look out for that as well. So that was the other side of the channel, as well as the movies and the sports. It was also the drawing as well. So next case is the anime. So I love anime, as I've talked about in various videos and reviews. I'm particularly more of a fan of the old school era, so particularly from the 80s and 90s. So if anybody who was around at that stage and living in the UK, which is what I'm based at, you'll very much remember that when the initial breakthrough of anime came through in the West, and there was a massive explosion, particularly on VHS at the time. The first encountering of anime for me was particularly watching on Channel 4, and they used to show it around about 2 or 3 in the morning, and it was all in subtitles at the time. And I think the first couple was Devilman and Akira and Dominion Take Police. Those were the first couple, along with Cyber City Oedo 808. And I used to love it as well. You know, the explosion of anime, it was such a huge difference to what we normally see within animation. So being born, growing up in the 80s, of course, we were always used to the Saturday morning cartoons, and then later on with the Marvel stuff and the DC stuff early on. So the anime breakthrough was really a shock, and it was just more a case of it was so mature in terms of its storytelling, so intelligent, so dark, and so vivid with the animation and the way it was produced. So going along here as well, you see here again the classic titles. So obviously Ghost of the Shell, Akira, Wicked City, Street Fighter, all along here you would go through. And these were the ones that I was really mostly passionate about. So I've got a lot of these on VHS actually, and I always keep those as well. But nowadays as well, you've had all the HD resolutions and the masters of these, and I've got most of them, whether it's digital copy or Blu-ray as well. So that's what I use as well to review those. So as I've been promising when doing the anime series, I've tried to do more up-to-date anime modern day. So obviously you can see here the Blood of Zeus review, season 1. Blood of Zeus was really good actually. I really liked that as well. And also Demon Slayer, I recently reviewed that as well. So I did try to do Attack on Titan. I reviewed the first season, and then it wasn't available more on Netflix, and I got Amazon Prime as well, but the second and third season they're not really available on that either. I think it's available on another streaming platform as well. I think this fourth season is now showcasing as well. So yeah, I was really wanted to try and go through all of the seasons of Attack on Titan, then try and catch up with this fourth season, so then I could do more up-to-date reviews but I haven't managed to do that yet. So maybe somewhere down the line I'll manage to do that. I've watched One Punch Man as well, and My Hero Academia in bits and pieces as well. So I wasn't as impressed by those as what I was with the old school anime, but I will make an effort to go through. There's tons of anime on Netflix, tons of series, tons of movies. I did watch a lot of Naruto, the movies. Wasn't bad, wasn't great, it was okay. I mean, overall, in terms of an anime series, for me, it's always Dragon Ball Z. That is the most best, the most iconic, the most compelling. Dragon Ball Z is still the #1 anime series for me. I did watch pockets of Dragon Ball Super. I was very disappointed in that. I just thought it was more of a cash in and much more of a recycling of ideas, what we basically had already in Dragon Ball and GT as well. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed in Super. I understand there's a mad fandom for Dragon Ball Z and they'll kind of eat up anything that's related to Dragon Ball Z, but I was really disappointed in Dragon Ball Super, so that's probably why you haven't seen reviews on that channel. But as I've stated before, I will make much more of an effort to review more of anime, up-to-date anime as well. So it's just having the time to watch through, because a lot of these, there's like 10 to 20 episodes, so you've got to get through it all and review it. And I'm somebody, if you do view my channel, I like to really go deep into the analysis. As you can see by a lot of my videos, they tend to be quite long. They're 15, 20, 25 minutes long, and that's because I just like to analyse properly content and review it in detail. I just can't do the 2-3 minute, 5-minute reviews or reactions. It's just my personality. I really like to delve into the good points and the bad points, and I think overall when it comes to reviewing, I'm generally quite fair on content. Even though I don't like it when I view it, I will always look at the positives and try and outline the positives first before doing the negatives and then giving an overall score as well. So that's probably why as well it takes me a lot longer to do the anime reviews. But as well, you'll probably see on here, I'll do a lot of television shows. So on this list here, you can see most recently, of course, the 6th season opener of Supergirl. And then, of course, you've got the Marvel shows, Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. I really like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I understand there's not much hype around it as what there was about WandaVision, but I think that's just more down to the concept. It's the concepts that I think people are more excited about WandaVision, because you're dealing with all the magics and the different realms, and people were getting amped up about how it will tie into the whole multiverse that Marvel wants to introduce, particularly with Doctor Strange and the multiverse as well. So what Falcon and Winter Soldier is much more grounded in its concept, and maybe that's not as exciting, but I think that actually helps that show as well, because it's not got all the stigma and trying to build in to the large universe. It can kind of be its own standalone story, which I like. So obviously you've got The Flash as well, season 7. I think that's actually been better in the last couple of episodes. They've kind of gone back more to that standalone storytelling where they just basically take on a supervillain each week. So I think the last couple haven't been that bad. I still think there's too many members of the Flash. They need to cut it down and I think go back to the original crew of Team Flash. There's a lot of still unnecessary characters on that show. But anyway, you've still got The Walking Dead. I'm still watching that. I know that's not the prime time water cooler show that it used to be 3-4 years ago, but I'm still watching it. Not a fan of these additional episodes. They're just completely pointless. I don't see the point of them. I know coming soon, actually, I think it's this weekend, it will be the Negan episode where I think he sees Lucille again, or how he finds her again. So that'll probably be the best of these 6 episodes, but I don't see the point in these 6 additional episodes of these shows. They really go nowhere overall. But as you can see on the channel, Superman and Lois, Black Lightning, Cobra Kai, I did that intensive Cobra Kai season 3. Brilliant season. I think overall the best season of the show so far, I think, and I did loads of standout elements for that. Really good episode. And of course I've been covering Batwoman. That's ongoing debate about that show. Obviously we had the recent news about recasting Kate Kane in the role as Wallace Dane. Lots of controversy about that. Covered that in my video where I didn't see the point of it. You know, they made this whole effort to install Ryan Wilder as a new character, but then they turned it around, and now they've recast Kate Kane, and they must have known, right? I said this in my video, they must have known that they were going to do Kate Kane, bring her back in some capacity. So if Ruby Rose, we all know she wanted to leave, so why didn't you just recast her as Wallace Day, the new actress, and then carry on from there? So I think it is nullifying a bit the presence of Wine Wilder as well. So we see that goes on. I actually remember Wallace Day now. I remember when I saw her. She was from Hollyoaks. For anybody who's based in the UK, Wallace Day used to be in the UK soap Hollyoaks way back. She played Holly Cunningham. That's where I remember her from. Now, I know she's also been in Krypton, but I don't watch Krypton, so I don't know what that was like, how good of a show that was. I wasn't really interested in a Superman prequel, how people were on Krypton before Superman. I just think, again, it was just more added filler that wasn't necessary. But yeah, that's overall in terms of my television reviews. And yeah, I just cover really the shows I watch primarily, because I think, again, that's what you're going to be most passionate about. I try not to, if I don't like a show, even if it's trending, I probably won't cover it or watch it as such. So that's it in terms of that show. And yeah, I used to cover down here a lot of football, and they weren't really getting a lot of views, to be honest. And I think in terms, when it comes to covering football, as you can see here, I'm an Arsenal fan. I was generally just covering the Arsenal matches. But I think if you're going to go on YouTube and concentrate on football, then I think essentially you have to do watch-alongs, live action and live reviews, right? Literally post after the match is finished. If you don't do that, then you're not really going to get a lot of views. That's primarily where I think a lot of people watch football content. So yeah, if you get other issues, so for example, when Lampard got sacked, or if there's a big controversial issue, then yeah, I will cover it. So primarily it will stick to Arsenal, and I'll probably do more mid-season reviews or overall season reviews, rather than the match previews that I used to do as well, because I just didn't really have the time. And again, I didn't want to just do an Arsenal channel, because again, I just felt I was limiting myself to the content that I could produce. So that's it in terms of the football, that really I will only really go now when it's season ending, or if there's a big controversial issue in terms of football, then that's when I will do that as well. So go down here, tennis, and this is when really a lot of my views came up most recently, because I covered the recent Australian Open. And this was touch and go, because Australian Open, I was really debating on whether to do match by match or round by round coverage. And I did the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, and I uploaded that late. I uploaded that around UK time. I think it was about 9 or 10 o'clock. And it was a last minute decision to do it. It was quickly, because I know a lot about tennis, I watch a lot of it, so it's one of those videos that I can just put the mic on and just talk continuously, rather than having to work out a script when I do more the movie reviews. But yeah, I just did a breakdown of the quarterfinals, and they got tons of views. And I think because I did it the night before the matches were happening, so it got a lot of interest in terms of giving the predictions. So I did the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the finals, and they were really getting the biggest views in terms of my channel anyway. So that was working out great. So I'll probably do the same for when the French Open is. I believe that's June as well. And we've got recently now, in terms of the tennis, I think we've got the clay court swing coming around. It must be soon as well. So for anybody who doesn't know in terms of tennis, I am a Rafael Nadal fan. I think he's going to go on to win the French Open and become the greatest ever. That will give him 21 Grand Slams. So that's what I believe will give him the greatest of all time status. Now, I'll go to this video, who will become tennis of GOAT in 2021, because that's got me a lot of views and a lot of traction, and that's probably my best in terms of view duration. And I'll look at the analytics in a minute. But yeah, I've had tons of debate with, I think it's primarily Djokovic fans, who, of course, when Djokovic won the Australian Open, they feel that he is now the greatest of all time. And they've given me a lot of his stats and his achievements. And look, I've said before, ultimately, when it comes to greatest of all time, it will be about the slams, right? So at the end of the day, you can give all the records about the Masters tournaments and the semi-final wins and the final wins. But at the end of the day, we will look at who wins the most slams. And right now, Roger and Rafa have got 20, Novak's got 18. So if they all retired tomorrow, people would still view Roger and Rafa greater than Djokovic, and that's the fact. So we will wait and see in the future, but I just believe if Rafa goes on to win the French, he will become the greatest of all time. I have got a video planned just to outline Rafa's path in terms of the clay court swing very soon, and what will happen to him if he does go on, how many tournaments he'll play. He won't play all of them because due to quarantining, etc. So they're very limited right now in terms of tennis. So we'll see what his schedule will be like. So that video will probably come out this week if I can put it out quickly. So that is probably one of my best performing videos that Tennis Goat in 2021. Hasn't got the most views, but it's got the most duration. So that's what I'll go on here. So last section on here at the moment is boxing, and I love boxing as well. I generally just do the match reviews. I don't do all the kind of speculation and reports, because the problem you have with boxing is that a lot of it is just speculation just to keep people in profile. You know, boxing is one of those sports that relies so much on social media. I think there's an over-reliance on it. So a bit like with movies, you get so much speculation and fake rumours, and fighters are going to fight and then they end up not fighting, boxers calling each other out, and after a while you just get bored of it because you just hear all of this fake noise and nothing happens, and everybody goes on social media and they all spin off all the rumours and speculation. And again, I understand if you are primarily a boxing channel, then yes, you have got to cover any kind of rumour or speculation, but I just can't be bothered with it. I'm focused more on the actual fights. Tell me what is actually happening. So of course we've got all of this hype around AJ and Fury. Is it happening? Yes it is. No it hasn't. They've signed to fight, they haven't signed to fight. So at the end of the day, I just think, no, I'm just bored of it now. Just tell me when they're fighting. So that's probably why you haven't seen me cover a lot of boxing content, because I'm just not into all of the fake rumour and speculation. And at the end of the day, we aren't going to see any of these big fights until they're allowing back crowds in a massive capacity, because that's what boxing relies on, even more than football, right? Boxing is very much relying on those crowds, the gate revenue, and if you take that away, then you're not going to get these big fights. It's the only way they can manage to cover all their costs and pay the fighters all of the massive pay-per-view money that they so obsessed with getting. So that's why I haven't covered a lot of boxing. But of course, if we do get any major developments, particularly in AJ and Fury, then I will cover that as well. I didn't really cover the White Povetkin fight. I mean, it wasn't a great fight, to be honest. Really, Dylan White beat him in the first fight. He just got caught cold by an uppercut. So I was just covering other content and I just didn't have the time to do the boxing channel. But again, if anybody wants me to cover it more in depth, let me know as well when I will do that. But if we get any more high profile fights within the boxing, then I will cover that as well. So that's just the overall gist of the channel right now. Primarily it is more about the movies and the television as well, because that's the content that is still ongoing. So the latest ones, of course, was the Godzilla Kong non-spoiler and spoiler review. Again, really didn't get a lot of views on that as well. I did the Invincible breakdown as well. So yeah, so that was the most recent content as well. So we're just going to take a look now at my analytics. So this isn't great. So right now, in terms of the overall subscribers, I've got round about now 387 subscribers. So I'm generally getting around 1 to 2 subscribers every 1 to 2 days. So that's not really great, I don't think, because I'm literally having to upload daily. I'm uploading really 1 to 2 videos like every single day. I'm just trying to keep on it as much as possible. So when this is trying to load up now, but yeah, it's just a real grind at the moment. When I first started, I was barely getting 0 subscribers. So for about the first 4 to 5 months, I was literally getting no subscribers at all. And even though I was uploading every 1 to 2 days, yeah, it was just getting really frustrating because I just wasn't getting any traction. I was getting the odd views here or there, but in terms of actual subscribers, nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, I was getting 1 to 2 subscribers every single day. And I think the most I've had is around 10 subscribers in one single day. But that was months ago now, but I haven't really picked up from there either. So it just generally getting traction from there. So now, because I'm uploading every single day, I literally get a subscriber every day. So yeah, 387 in terms of a small YouTuber, yep. So it's not great numbers overall, but I think in general I'm growing every day. So 1 to 2 subscribers every day. So I guess any growth is better than no growth at all. So this tab. So here we go here. These are my list of videos right now. So currently now, the video that is pending is my review of Dragon the Bruce Lee story, the biopic of Bruce Lee back in 1993. That's the first of my series of my forever favourite films. So basically I'm going to start reviewing now some of my most favourite films ever. So Dragon and Bruce Lee is just pending on there. So I don't have great internet, so this has been uploading for a couple of hours now. So I've only got wireless internet, so that's why it's taken so long. But that's going to be my next upcoming series of reviews. So I'm going to start reviewing the likes of Tombstone and The Last Samurai as well. Those are the ones be coming up next as well. So I will still continue doing my unrated and underappreciated movie review series as well. So yeah, you can just see down here now, these are the lists of the videos on here. So this is the content that I'm getting on here. So if I try to go on my analytics now, if it wants to upload, so again, very slow on the internet issues. So when it comes up, on here, so I'm just going on this tab here just to save a wait. So yeah, so here it is now. So these are my analytics. So again, this is the analytics for a very small, minute YouTuber channel. So obviously anybody who has got thousands of subscribers, it's not even worth you looking at this, because obviously you won't be able to relate to this. But I guess for anybody who has just recently started and just wants to get an insight of another small YouTube channel, these are my views on here. So this is within the last month, March the 7th to April the 3rd. So around about 5,000 views, 136.6 watch hours. So again, it's nothing too special. So obviously we all know the threshold is around 4,000 watch hours. So I'm way off there. I've got so many more to go before I even get even halfway to that. But in terms of the views, so yeah, so it's generally around 150 a day. And as you can see on here, I'm uploading literally most every day or every other day. So that's the only way I can kind of maintain this. If I didn't stop uploading, if I didn't upload for around 1 week to 2 weeks, this would go way down. And I'll go into my videos more as well very shortly. But yeah, this is just a small graph. And again, you can just see here all the videos that I'm uploading. So to go now, in terms of my overall videos, so the highest ones at the moment, my highest videos are Spartacus. So I did way back now a breakdown of what I believe the best episodes of the Spartacus show. If you remember, that was the Star produced show way back in 2010, starring first Andy Whitfield, then he sadly passed away, and then Liam McIntyre picked up the role for the previous season. I love Spartacus. I think it's an amazing show. It's just brilliant to watch. I've got all of them all on DVD. Just amazing. It's one of those shows that consistently gets better with each series and really stands on its own greatly throughout. So I'm just trying to go on this tab here now, just to go on the overall views. So yeah, this is the breakdown of my other shows views. So this is what is getting the most views. Now, as you can see on here, the Spartacus videos are continuing to get traction. Now, the reason for this is obviously because with Spartacus, if you watch it, it's very R-rated in its tone. So you have a lot of comic strip violence, but then you do have a lot of sex scenes as well. So I think what's happening is people, when I put down the best episodes, they're probably thinking they're going to get a lot of sex scenes that I show throughout the show. Now, I don't put the live footage. I always use screenshots because I just don't, well, I have the facility, but I don't have the computer ideal enough to start putting in trailer footage or actually episode footage, and I just don't want to cope with all the potential copyright claims as well. So that's why I don't bother with all of that. So yeah, these are my views here. And that's why I think Spartacus just keeps getting traction. Again, these videos, they're getting the views, but people are just clicking on and clicking off because they probably see that I don't show the actual footage of the episode, the supposed sex scenes that they all want to see. I don't show that either. So that's why they're probably clicking on and clicking off straight away. So it's a bit frustrating at that point. So as what everybody probably tells you, if you do follow any YouTube advice, it is always about the watch duration. It's the watch hours. That's the key, not the views. It's the watch hours. So that's why I'm not as attentive to that. That's why I didn't really do any more Spartacus videos. But it's the same with the Yuri Tsukidoji. Now, anybody who doesn't know, that's a very famous anime from the 80s, and it's very infamous because that has extremely hardcore and explicit kind of sex scenes. So again, that's why that's doing loads of views. People are probably thinking I've got lots of footage of sex scenes, I guess, and they're really disappointed when I don't, because again, I just do it more from a review point of view. So again, they're probably clicking on and just clicking off when they see that I don't have the footage on there either. So that's again why that's clicking and getting a lot of views. So basically the Spartacus, that first one, that's got over 16,000 views, I think now. The part 2 has got around 13,000. The Yuri Tsukidoji, the Legend of the Overfiend, that's got over 3,000, and then the sequel has got over 2.7 thousand. So those are my highest rated videos, along with the Who Will Become Tennis Great in 2020, and that's the best overall video because that's got around over 100 watch hours, and a lot of people are responding to that video. I'm getting a lot of comments and feedback as well, because it's a debate, isn't it? And it's a lastable video because we're talking about the whole year of 2021. So that's why that video is lasting so long as well. So again, most recently, you can see here, it's dropping down. So obviously my film reviews, so things like To Live and Die in LA, 47, these videos were done months ago. These are about 6-7 months ago. And I don't know why. The algorithm, it's so weird the way it works. These were getting no views when I first published them way back. You see that in January, they were getting no views, and now all of a sudden now they're just picking up. They're getting 5 views a day, 10 views a day, and 47 Ronin, that's got around like 70 views. Live and Die Late's got around 50 views as well. Last Man Standing, that's got around 83 views. So I don't know why all of a sudden they just start picking up traction. I don't know what is triggering it. I don't post or repost these videos on Twitter or Reddit, so all of a sudden they just start picking up. Tears of the Sun, that's been another good performer in terms of the numbers on my channel as well. So Casualties of War, that's another one that's got around 85 views now as well. So these are obviously in the last 48 hours. So yeah, all the film reviews that I did about 5, 6, 7 months ago are now starting to really pick up. So hopefully that can continue as well. So you've got the Negotiator down there, and Breakdown as well, and Live as well. So this is really just an idea of the videos I'm producing and how the channel is performing overall. So again, this is really more from a small YouTuber perspective. This isn't, you know, like I said, got such a long way to go before I can even think about getting halfway towards monetization. But I just wanted to give just an insight into the kind of performance of the channel, and maybe this can be helpful to anybody who is just recently starting and they want to get a true insight into somebody who has got a small YouTube channel going on the grind as well, and just trying to see the kind of viewership that you might get. Hopefully anybody watching this is getting way better numbers than what I'm getting. So again, it's just a case of I've just got to kind of rethink about certain strategies to kind of just ramp up the views, because I want the recent videos to try and get more traction. At the moment, it's videos that I've done 4, 5, 6 months ago that are getting more traction, and I want to try and get the more up-to-date videos to get them more views as well. But that's really just an encapsulation of the channel itself and how it's going and how it's performing overall. So any suggestions or feedback would be greatly appreciated. In terms of, yeah, I do just do voiceover because at the moment I don't have a lot of big space on my computer, and I used to do the videos where I show my face on camera, but those take up a lot of space and they take a longer time to export and then upload onto the YouTube. And at the moment I'm dealing with a wireless camera. I've only got like a C920 webcam, and we don't have the best of internet. So basically what happens is I start filming and then the audio and the video go out of sync. So I'll spend 20-25 minutes reviewing content, and then when I look at the editing, I start talking out of sync. So all that time for nothing, basically. So after what, it became frustrating. So that's why I continue to do the voiceover work, and I don't have enough space on my phone to film it from my phone as well. But I will eventually start showing my face more on videos if indeed you do want to see me on YouTube. People always recommend that they look to see the faces of the YouTubers on here. I don't think that's a guarantee as getting views, because I see loads of YouTubers with million subscribers, over a million subscribers, and they never show their face. So I don't think that's necessarily the case. But as I mentioned before, if you've got any suggestions or any opinions or feedback in terms of the channel, the content I'm putting out, if you think I should be doing shorter videos or longer videos, if there are certain films you want me to be concentrating more on, let me know in the future as well. So any suggestions, as long as it's constructive, I'll always be welcome to. But I just thought it'd be a good idea, as I've been on a YouTube for over a year now, just to get an insight into my overall channel. And I'll just film this video unedited, because I just think it's just best if you hear me just talking more raw and real at the time. In terms of live streaming, again, I don't really have the facilities to do it. It's tough when you're doing a wireless stream. I don't have an Ethernet cable, and again, I've got to go on to StreamYard, and I don't really have that tactic at the moment. So that's why I don't really do live streams. I would like to do live streams eventually. I'm not a big talker, so I won't be able to live stream for 2, 3, 4 hours like a lot of people do, and they do say it's best to do live stream because that's how you can get the watch hours as well. So in the next couple of months, if I can get the facilities to do that, then I will try to do that as well. So, but that's really the overall gist of the channel, where it's at performing at the moment. So 387 subscribers, picking up 1 to 2 subscribers every day. So hopefully we can just push on now and try and get to 500 by maybe July. Probably being lowballing a bit, but hopefully by July we can get past 500, and maybe by the end of the year get close to the coveted 1000. But those are my thoughts and feelings really on just being on YouTube for over a year. You've got an insight now into the channel. I will probably try and do these coverage of the channel every month. So every month I'll probably look at the analytics and just give you a quick insight into how the channel's performing. So again, if you are just a small YouTuber and you're just starting, hopefully this video will be helpful for you just to see how another small YouTube channel is performing and the sort of content. And as I mentioned before, if you've got any suggestions or ideas to where you think you'd like to see me take the channel in the future, then just let me know in the comments below. And you can also contact me on my Instagram or my Twitter. I'll put all the links within the description as well. And you can also check out all my other artwork, whether it be on Instagram or DeviantArt profile as well. So look out for those in the future as well. But that's it for now, really. Just covering my channel. Like I said before, I'll do more videos like this every month just to look at the analytics. And again, if it proves any help to anybody just starting on YouTube, then that's good. And if you've got any more questions, just let me know in the comments as well. So that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.